Alright, so I just stepped into the garden, and I suppose it was the wind, maybe it was an animal or something. My zucchini's knocked over, so I gotta get this up. The zucchinis themselves seem to be okay, but a couple of the leaves are damaged. That's what happens sometimes, you know. It's possible it was the wind, you know. I just found it just a little strange. Was it you? You? Was it you? I don't even know if I should say it. It's just so scary. I tell my daughter about the flute mice, and I think it was the flute mice. It's proof. Yeah, it was the flute mice. Well, either way, the plan today is to mix down some soil. Check it out. I hope this is a black crim. Like I say, I don't know which tomato plant this is, but it looks like it wants to give some love. Yeah, I hope it's my black crim heirlooms, because I would love to have some of those this year. Alright, so let's get to it. What I have here is all my amendments. Brand name does not matter, I'm not worried about that. But let's just get into it. We have blood meal, bone meal, garden lime. This is the pelleted kind, but you can also get the powder form. Plant food. I normally get a 555, but this is all they had at my store, so we can work with that. And of course, what I found out is the crown jewel of my container gardening. Some good old earthworm castings. And of course a seedling. These right here are my pink Berkeleys. I sown these seeds probably about 2 months ago, to be perfectly honest, and they just sat in my windowsill not growing. Let me show you something also. Remember the video when I put these down? These chocolate cherry tomatoes? Click right there and you'll see that video. But these were started the same time as these. She will not shut her mouth. Just complaining. Old woman. But given time and space, this is what you can have. So let's recreate that magic, shall we? I have good old topsoil. Nothing special. Check it out. Okay. What you want to do is to get the top... Ah! No! Stop it! What you want to do is pretty much get a nice thick layer of topsoil at the bottom. To that, we're going to add the plant food. This is a 20-gallon grow bag, so I'm thinking about 2 or 3 big handfuls. There we go. Also a handful of worm castings. We're going to add more, don't worry. Then give it a mix. I normally use my hands, but because I'm holding the camera, I'm just going to demonstrate with a shovel. Like that? Like that demonstration? Then we want to wet it down. I'm going to tell you why we're doing this in a second. The reason why we do this, and we just kind of throw the topsoil at the bottom, we're still going to mix it through, but listen, this topsoil pretty much has no beneficial anything in it. No plant food, no nothing. So when we fill this up to about here, and we plop in our seedlings as so, what do the roots want? They want to grow. Now, of course, they're going to get immediate worm castings and water and things from, around its immediate living spaces. But the roots are going to go down, 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 down. And surprise, that's where more food will be hiding. So, throughout its whole entire lifespan, we want to nurture it. So next, we're going to add good old peat moss to it. Okay? This stuff is fantastic. But same thing, it's pretty sterile. There's nothing in it. That's why we use the amendments. I take my shovel and I just begin shoveling it in. And within your peat moss, more than likely you'll find things like this. Broken down pieces of stick that actually aren't broken down. So not broken down pieces of stick that you just want to let go. You don't want that in there. I mean, you can. It won't really hurt anything, but nah. And just keep filling. About there or so. Maybe a little more peat moss than topsoil that you put at the bottom. As we continue, we want to make sure that we keep equal amount of peat moss and topsoil. I tend to do a little more peat moss than topsoil. Keeps the dirt nice and loose, but you use this as a general guide. You know, this is kind of a recipe that can be finagled with. To this layer, we're going to add some lime. Why lime? Well, check it out. Peat moss is a bit acidic. So for things like tomatoes and peppers and things, you want to keep the acidity not too high in your soil. And this helps combat that. Blood meal. About that much. Bone meal. About that much. Plant food. And more worm castings. And after that, give it a mix down, like so. We want to add more water, so that way every layer is nice and moist. There we go. Now, another key ingredient. Perlite. Or vermiculite, but I got perlite this time. Some say vermiculite's a little better. I haven't really seen a serious difference as of yet. I've only been doing this for this season. Let's get a couple shovelfuls of this in there. So, why perlite exactly? Well, moisture retention, especially in containers. It helps retain and hold water inside of the buckets, and pots, and bags. So we're going to give that a mix. Now we're going to add more topsoil. And now we're just going to mix it in. And we're going to repeat all the steps until we get to the top. Alright, and now that we got to the top, let me show you what's next. We're going to top dress it. Get a nice handful of worm castings. And just spread it around the top. You know? You want to get that on there. Be liberal with it. It is a big pot after all. Then you just want to kind of massage it into the surface. Just scratch it in. We're going to create sod pockets. Let's dig right here. And in there we're going to put some food. And cover it up. Okay? Let's do that on all four sides. And we're done. And that's pretty much how you mix soil here. Well, how I do it anyway. I'm going to get this lovely down. And let's see what happens, shall we? And that's it from the Garden of Feodora. I hope you learned something today. Don't be afraid to learn. It can be scary. That just means you're learning. And as always, peace from the Garden of Feodora. One more thing. We have to water it, right? I have trusty rainwater over here. To this rainwater, we're going to add another amendment, which is fish fertilizer. I add just about a capful, maybe 2 capfuls. This stuff stinks, but it's worth it. We give it a little shake, and we pour it on, leaves and all. Let it have it. That's about it. And don't forget, please subscribe or just hit the like button. It helps us out a lot. And as always, peace from the Garden of Feodora.